Jada is back at it here to give everyone another countdown video. I'm going to be counting down in this particular video my top 10 favorite characters from the U.S. version of the TV show Shameless. Before I do that, it's pretty important if you're not caught up to the point where I am in watching Shameless, and I'll tell you where I'm at in just a moment. If that's the case and you're not caught up, I suggest, and so does everybody else, that you don't watch this video any further, just in case I spoil a bunch of shit for you. So, I wanted to assemble the best 10 characters that I liked, and I think I have a pretty solid list here. This is not your list. This is not everybody's list. This is my list. So if you don't agree, leave your list in the comments section. But number 10, there's a bunch of characters I thought for this particular spot. I even thought Tommy. I even thought Karen. I even thought Sheila. I decided not to put Sheila. But I went, or Liam too. But I went with Ian Gallagher. Now, actually, Liam used to be one of my favorite characters, but he's kind of gotten a little crazy and he's a little reckless and crazy. I don't know. He's just not as good as he used to be, but he's still awesome. I really liked him in the earlier seasons of Shameless. The whole, I'm not really fond of his relationship with Mickey, and I know that they get together and get married at the end of season 10. I know a lot of stuff that already happens. Basically, I just want to watch everything to make sure I've watched everything and I'm not missing anything. But Ian is a really good character, and he did a lot early on to like help the family out. Fiona couldn't do it all, and Ian was one of the characters that was helping out. So Ian Gallagher, number 10. Number 9, a character that could have been left off the list, but I had to add her to the list because she's awesome, and that would be Mandy. Mandy did a lot for Lip Gallagher. She pushed him and pushed him and pushed him to go to school, and in the end, Lip sort of shit on her, which sucks. And then she just left, and then she became an escort, like a high-end escort. And I hope we see Mandy again. I'm pretty sure that we will. Just have a feeling that we'll see Mandy again at the end of the season, or by the end of the series, which we only have 7 more episodes. Number 8. Speaking of number 8, I'm going to put Lip Gallagher. I like Lip. A lot of people don't. There's moments where he gets on my nerves, but I like a lot of the relationships he's in, or the craziness that happens in the relationships, especially the relationship he had with his professor, the female one, obviously. And that was awesome. That's like every guy's dream, to fuck some hot professor. And then the sadness of when his mentor Professor Eubanks, died in jail, and Lip just he was always there to listen to Lip, no matter what the situation is. He would listen. Where all these people from AA, or NA, well, no, it's AA. They don't want to hear about his problem. They want him to just focus on him. So Lip, I know he's with somebody else already, and I think this probably be till the end, but I think Lip needs to end up with Mandy in the end of Shameless. Just my opinion. I could be wrong, but that would be awesome. So Lip Gallagher, number 8. Number 7, a character who I did not like at first, but then the character really started to grow on me, and that would be Vetlana. Being the prostitute, having sex with Mickey right in front of Ian, little crazy. But then eventually she shows up at Kevin and V's house, and then they start this threesome stuff, and she just got better and better and better. And then she tries to take the bar from them and all that stuff. But in the end, we saw her final episode. I hope Svetlana comes back, but she gets married to some old fart, and then Kevin and V are in the audience, and they're like, prenup. Apparently there was a prenup that maybe Svetlana didn't know about, but nonetheless, that's so far her final episode. I hope she comes back, because I don't feel like that was a proper send-off. I think her, Kevin, and V should have had an emotional moment. You know what? You tried to take the alibi away from us. We get it. But you know what? You helped us. I think their relationship was better because of Svetlana. And she was really good with, taking care of and multitasking things. So, Svetlana, number 7. Number 6 is actually a very interesting one, because I hated this character for the first couple of seasons, because the guy he was like a borderline serial killer in training, but he got a lot better, and that would be Carl Gallagher. I mean, eventually he becomes a drug dealer. He goes to jail. He doesn't rat out. Then he comes out of jail with cornrows, and he's all hard. He has this like bodyguard guy that follows him around everywhere. That's doesn't say a lot, and he ends up buying the house back for them when they lose the house, or they almost lost the house. Well, they did lose the house, but then he bought it back, and Carl just got good. And then there's that brief relationship with that chick that was in the her family slept in the van, and then he met, and then she kind of disappeared all of a sudden, and then eventually he meets Cassidy, and his stuff with Cassidy is really good. And I really like Carl. He got a lot better. Now I don't know a lot that happens to Carl in season 9. I know he gets a job somewhere, and it's like the male side of sexual harassment. I've seen a couple episodes here and there the latter seasons, so that's how I know. I pretty much know all the big moments that happened, like Fiona leaving and Mickey and Ian getting married. So, but Carl Gallagher, number 6. Number 5, a character who you love to hate, but he's just so good at playing this character. And he's gotten a lot better. Like before, all he'd do was just pass out somewhere and they drag him wherever, and he'd pass out again and be laying somewhere and that. But Frank Gallagher is an awesome character. He really gets good in season 8. He gets a job at the lawn care place. He's the assistant manager. He does good for Liam. Of course, there's stuff that Frank benefits from too, why he does it, but he's like being like there for people for the most part. And unfortunately, the place decides to go out of business and they fire him. And then he has a hard time getting back in the workforce, and he starts driving people to Canada or getting them into Canada. And that worked for a couple trips until the Mounties got him. But Frank was really good. Now, I know his character probably has a little downtime in season 9 again, and hopefully gets better in season 10. But Frank, even though he's crazy and does a lot of dumb shit, he's just so likable sometimes and unlikable at sometimes. Frank, number 5. Number 4, a character that I think has progressed as the seasons go along, and obviously with the relationships that he's had, or the lack of relationships with the same people, basically, he's really gotten to shine, and that would be Kevin. I really love Kevin and V. They're awesome as neighbors. They're great. And then the whole stuff with Kevin V and Svetlana, that just made him even better. And then when he starts like bossing people around and like, you know, hitting the baseball bat against the barrels and not wanting the the alcohol that Svetlana's getting and like taking charge, and V like loving that. It's just awesome. I'm telling you, Svetlana improved their relationship. She had to have. And then speaking of that relationship, number 3, V, Victoria. She is so good. She's like awesome to Fiona. And you know, I know Fiona leaves the show. Fiona never officially she got married, but never like had a real wedding. And I feel that V needs to be there as her maid of honor, and Fiona needs to come back somehow, some way, and get married in the season or the series finale of Shameless. Will it happen? Probably not, but hey, one can only dream. But V, great character. She's great. The looks on her face she has sometimes, and just the stuff that she goes through is just awesome. So I really like V. Number 2, this is the surprise on this list. A lot of people probably wouldn't put this character this high. Person wasn't on the show that long, had some moments, but I really enjoyed, depending on what name you call him, Jimmy, Steve, Jake, played by Justin Chatwood. I really enjoyed the relationship he had with Fiona. I thought he was always the best one for Fiona. Did a lot for Fiona, and he was just entertaining. But he had this mysterious side that was like he didn't know what he was going to do. But then there's that moment where he throws his phone into the ocean or the lake, and then goes on the boat, and you think he's going to get off on that trip, and then all of a sudden he shows up again, and Fiona is pissed, which she should be, but I don't think he realizes that Fiona called him and like cried her, like, hey, call me when you get things figured out. He never did, but then he showed up again for a brief point in time, slept with Fiona because she can't resist him. That led to her and Gus breaking up, and then the F word song, fucking Fiona. That's entertaining, even though it sucked for Fiona. That was entertaining in my opinion. But Jimmy, Steve, he was great. And then eventually Fiona says, get lost. And he rides off on a motorcycle. I hope he comes back. I mean, he can't come back unless Fiona comes back, though. I mean, that would make the most sense. But hey, if Fiona really does, if Emily Rossum really doesn't want to come back, get him to come back. Have him show up and be like, "Where's Fiona?" And then they could say, "We don't know." And then they can have a Shameless movie where Emily Rossum could get paid a lot more money. That would be awesome. But who knows? I hope he shows up again because that would be epic. Him, Svetlana, Mandy, Fiona, and probably Sheila because everybody likes Sheila. She's not one of my favorites. She's middle of the pack, in my opinion. But Jimmy Steve, number 2, which obviously leaves number 1, the star of the show, well, at least for the first 9 seasons. I know Fiona leaves the finale of season 9. Fiona Gallagher. I mean, her character went through so much when she, the number of boyfriends she had, the guy that owned the company, then his brother, then you had Jimmy Steve, you had that cop that lost his virginity to her, then he turned gay. I can't remember what his name was. I can't remember. Nonetheless, and then of course she has a relationship with Gus, and then the F word, and then fucking Fiona. Slept with everybody. Fuck you, Fiona. And then you had Sean. He was a douchebag. I didn't like that. And then you had fucking couple one night stands, and then you had the guy that's like an investment guy, and then you had Ford, and I'm not sure. I saw an episode where he leaves, like she leaves him because he has a wife. Yes, I saw like 3 or 4 episodes of season 9 already in the past year. That's what made me want to watch the show. So Fiona's gone through her people, but I really like the Jimmy Steve stuff. That was great. I even like the guy that was boring that she slept with his brother. I can't remember his name. Brian, maybe? I should have looked it up before I did the video. That's my fault. But anyway, Fiona was awesome. And the part where Robbie shows up, I remember her brother's name, but I don't remember the brother, the one that she was originally with. When he left the cocaine there, and then Liam somehow gets a hold of the cocaine, and then she has to go to jail because of that stuff, and then just like the times, and then like her probation officer, like they tested her in terms of like trying to give her cocaine or whatever it was in jail, and then she didn't take it. And then they're like, "I got a job for you. I'm going to bail you out, or I'm going to let you go, and you're going to work at this place." And I'm not sure what happens to Patsy's. That I don't know about, but I'm sure it gets sold in season 9. But Fiona Gallagher, my all-time favorite character. So I hope you enjoyed the list. Keep in mind, it's not your list. It's not everybody's list. It's my list. Please leave your list. You don't have to do top 10 if you don't want. Leave me your top 5. I'm really excited to see what happens on Shameless. I know the quality gets a little bit low with Fiona gone, but I hope Fiona does come back, and she's got to come back. I hope somehow, some way they arrange a marriage for Fiona real quick to Jimmy Steve, and V can be her maid of honor. That would be awesome and epic, in my opinion. But I'm really looking forward to the end of the series because it's been a really good show that's like, and I don't know, I just can't stop watching it. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you're a fan of Shameless and you like this show, go ahead and smash that like button. If you know anybody that would love to hear about my top 10 favorite characters, share the video with them. And remember, I'm going to be most likely updating this after the series is over in case there were some changes, but there might not be. And then, don't forget to leave comments. Talk about your favorite characters, favorite episodes, and give me your list of rankings. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.